So the last game of round 3 was France versus Italy. 13-all. I don't think a draw really suits either side. Both will be very disappointed. A very odd finish. Obviously a red card as well. I couldn't watch this game live, so I've just finished watching it. And a bit of a crazy way to finish round 3. But for France, they're effectively out of the Six Nations with a loss and a draw. For Italy, I'm not sure it even really helps because it may well come down to the last game against Wales to see who finishes bottom anyway. So yeah, I think just they can be gutted all round. But anyway, welcome to this video supported by Lifting Giants. Let's get into this final game, try and summarise it, pick out some key points. And Italy definitely looked really pumped up. The roof was closed, it was all smoky, it was very atmospheric, that's for sure. And I like some of their new players that they brought in. I've said for a long time I'm not too sure of their scrum halves, but Paige Rayo looked the real deal, zipping his passes around, some brilliant kicking. Hopefully they've found their scrum half to start. Liked him a lot. Menoncello was very good as well on the wing. He has to play somewhere. And Ross Vincent playing 8. The Exeter guy, really, really good. And it allows Lamaro to go to 7. And then Zuliani came on at the end and won that killer turnover that should have won it or nearly won it. But anyway, let's have a word about France's attack in this first half. And also, let's say it how it is. France should have won this game. In the first half, they looked kind of all over Italy in many ways. Their attack isn't particularly complicated. It's very simple. It does seem to have regressed in many ways in its structure, as in there isn't really much structure, but that's kind of how French teams have played the game before. The jouet, just play what you see, and they're so big, they're so powerful, they're so strong. You can just literally give the ball to one-out runners or a couple of passes and just have a go, and they're so good it causes problems and you go from there. So their kind of attacking philosophy is just have a go, see what happens, and we're so good we can probably score. And it kind of worked a bit in the first half, but they couldn't put it away. You've got to mention the 19-year-old Pasolo Tuolangi, who's an absolute beast. Good footwork as well. He really looked for work, looks the real deal. At 19, he's only going to get better and better. And him and the likes of Pinot, who made dangerous plays all game, they're making those thrusts, they're getting over the gain line, and France just really should have scored more. But Italy, they're just hanging tough in this first half, keeping the score close basically. And just a word on our sponsor, Lifting Giants. They've designed these ergonomic lifting blocks. As I've said before, they designed them just before the World Cup, and now more and more players are using them. Scientifically proven to really fit your hand and be brilliant for the line out. Get hold of these with 10% off with RugbyAnalyst 10, link in the description below. Anyway, the first try comes from a typically powerful French scrum, which looked really good. Antonio doing really well there. Olivon and Woki combining, using that individual ability to send Olivon over. And then another massive scrum, and Italy look on the ropes. They're 10-0 down after 15 minutes. And France just looked destined to get more points. Yeah, Tuolangi getting over the line actually, but is held up, so that could have sealed the game right there. And they're just winning the ball at will, but they are a bit loose in their final pass. Crossfield kicks not accurate enough, those sorts of things. And you think they're going to get another score, but things just start to unravel before half time. Jalabert goes off, which isn't great, so Ramos has to go to 10. Then Italy finish the half with probably their first good attack, and Jonathan Dante in that set goes high. Yellow card, TMO review. Italy kick the penalty, long range penalty from Paige Rayo, another string to his bow there, so it's 10-3 at half time. But the question is it going to be a yellow or is it going to go to a red? Now just after half time it does go to a red, and I'll talk about it a bit, but I have done whole videos on this thing. Jonathan Dante goes into the tackle, chest on chest, head right up. That is something that players are taught. Because I saw in the Guardian newspaper the question from a viewer saying, I'll quote it actually, I don't get why so many professional players are pinged, carded for high tackles and head to head or shoulder to head. Almost the first thing that a rugby player learns as a kid is to go low and get your head down low. Are professionals forgetting this, or are they deliberately coached a bit higher? 100% the latter. They are told to tackle like this as an option, not all the time, but as an option. It's come from rugby league where players stay bolt upright because it stops the offload, keeps you on your feet, those sorts of things. And that's why we're getting so much head-to-head contact. I made a whole video about it. Some players go lower than others, some teams go lower than others, but it is being coached, and it's been coached for years and years. Coaches, I'm afraid, are to blame for this, because a lot of the time you'll get good choke tackles, you'll stop players, but you're going to get red cards. So this isn't just Dante being worse than anyone else, although some players are worse than others. It's just, it's going to happen if you coach players to do this. Believe me, I'm not going to go on about this too much, but believe me, if coaches tell players, you dip your head in every single tackle, this sort of thing will happen a lot less, but they're not. So Dante, is he to blame? Kind of, but it's the coaches and the coaching. So that's the answer to the question. I'm going to stop going on about it because we've done it to death in the past. Anyway, that red card is absolutely crucial. So 10-3 at half time, and then it's really end to end. It's a really exciting second half, actually. This 15 versus 14, with Italy with 15 and France 14, is fairly even. Maybe they should start like that. I don't know. Just a bit tongue-in-cheek there. But anyway, France have plenty of chances in this second half. It's not like they're hanging on. A nice counter-attack from the winger Lebel. A little bit of offloading. Italy give away a silly penalty. 13-3. Italy know their space against 14 men. Garbisi's trying to shift the ball around. Menoncello nearly hacks on and scores. He was good all game. Menoncello, so impressed with him. And France emptied the bench quite early. Was it too early? I don't know, but a good half an hour to go, they pretty much empty the bench. Pasolo Tuolangi off, but another big bopper on. Taue Fifanua equally doing what Tuolangi did with those big carries, gets him in really good positions, but they're just too wasteful again. They can't get that killer score. As I mentioned, loving Page Rayo. His kicking from scrum half is excellent, pinging the corners as well. And interesting, when Varney replaces him, immediately puts up a poor box kick. So it's something I've said that Italy have been poor of in the past, and Page Rayo maybe has fixed it. So good for them. But it's a good 15 minutes for France. After those substitutions, they've got those good attacking positions, should be stretching their lead. But a fairly cheap off-the-feet penalty by Marchand gives Garbisi a vital 3 points, so 13-6. And Ange Capozzo is getting some counter-attacking going. He's just so fast. He's creating openings against those 14 men. Menoncello looking really busy. But then on 70 minutes, it's Italy who cut loose for the first time against 14-man France in the second half, shifting the contact all over the place, multiple half breaks, and they get the offload to Capozzo, who's got the speed to squeeze in the corner, and a nice conversion from Garbisi. So they finally make it tell with the extra man, 13-all. But even in the last 5-10 minutes, it is France who are finishing the strongest. Pinot, 2 more brilliant breaks down the right. Goodness me, he made some good breaks in this game. But France, they just cannot keep hold of this ball. They will be kicking themselves. And yet, like I said, the 14 men against 15 men is a cracking actually match-up. But it's very unstructured, end-to-end stuff, heart-racing stuff. It would have been exciting in the stadium. Obviously, the result wouldn't have been at the end. But anyway, Italy, they know they're so close to a huge upset, and France, they try and run it out from deep with 14 men. You have less men to clear the rucks, and Zuliani, the young flanker, is on, and many of you guys in the comments have said, watch out for this guy. He's the next big thing for Italy in the back row, and he gets the sharp turnover, which probably should have won the game. And then it got so weird. Let's go through it slowly. The Garbisi miss, if you like. So it's a very kickable penalty, about 25 out, slightly to the side, but then something really weird happens. The ball falls off the tee. But France seem to charge down the penalty, which you can't do, twice, which is really odd. So the ref doesn't do anything about that. He just makes Garbisi put the ball back on the tee. France keep trying to charge it down, and Garbisi has only got a couple of seconds to get the kick away, which he does pretty well actually, but he hits the post. So whose fault is it? Well, there's no wind, the roof is closed. Garbisi does lean the ball forward a fair bit on the tee, so I think it's probably that. But France shouldn't be allowed to charge the kick down at all. They should be allowed to do nothing, not say anything, not move, literally nothing but watch, and they didn't. What should have been done there? I don't know, maybe stop the clock and let Garbisi have a kick from the remaining time, or restart the clock. I don't know, but it's a really weird one. 50-50 maybe on the fault there. 13-all, like I said, suits absolutely nobody. France can't win it. Italy doesn't really help them too much, I guess, but it's something. But pop all those comments below. Love to know what you think about that game, and I'll catch you next time.